to receding horizons. Our horizons are receding. Our people are not believing. And indeed, we are not succeeding. I have lived in this world long enough to understand that what we have been taught, what we have been indoctrinated, what has been programmed upon us is not what is actually happening. What you have seen out in the movies that are called vision boards is basically a glimpse of the future of what is to come. We live in a situation whereby art imitates reality, but honestly speaking, we find that reality imitates art. We have been put in cubicles that we call homes, and we have to get jobs so that we can buy stuff to put in our cubicles, and when we get more stuff, we have to get bigger cubicles to put more stuff in. If you look at the vision boards, man has been obsessed with violence. Every movie now is about someone hurting someone else, and we celebrate violence by celebrating the main individuals in the vision boards that are using violence successfully. Our children get to see this, our young ones get to see this, and that natural ability to nurture is slowly killed off. We look at ourselves as if we are not perfect in our creation, and we did understand that we did fall as humanity, and now through science, the devil's technology, we seek to restore what we lost. We seek to get back what we lost genuinely and honestly through science. If you understand the cosmic self and the cosmic being, you come to understand that we have been tampering with something that is not of our understanding. We are trying to extend a body that is sinful in this fallen world, not understanding that we have a destiny beyond this planet. We have a dream beyond this reality. We exist in this reality to learn steps. People learn to paint, others learn to sing, others learn to manage, and we are diverse creation. We are spirits navigating what we call bodies, our machines, our meat suits, and every night we go to sleep and we let the machines rest, just like we let our car rest in our driveway, and our spirit goes on, and we spend half of our lives asleep, existing in another reality that we do not even understand that is real to us. Every time we bring a spirit into this planet, we are bringing it into bondage, because we are born as slaves, and the dream of being free is no longer something that we can be proud of and we can brag about. Now we have to tell our children, if you want water, you have to get into your pocket, take a shilling, and buy yourself water to drink. That is the reality that we have created for ourselves and the children that come after us. coming to a world whereby everything is synthetic. What was once natural is not anymore. What was once free is not anymore. If you look at the internet, you will come and discover so much of what is going on in hidden laboratories around the world, what they call military labs or my labs, what they've created in form of cartoons and memes and caricatures that actually begin to have a life of their own, as people do not imagine anymore. We have had avatars created for us that we live through, we live by, we live under, we live for. And the true essence of our existence has been taken away from us. We forget that we are on a path. And before we came here, the Most High Creator said that before I formed you, I knew you, because we were spirits dwelling with Him. And when we chose to undertake this path of journey of life, we understood that some of us will come here and get absorbed, get taken away, get flawed by this reality. Many of us will want to stay in this reality because we have advantages over others. We don't believe in fairness. We don't believe in equality. The leaders that be have told us that we are equal, that all races are the same, when everything they have done is counter that argument. Everything they have done has proven that blood is important, that race is important, that culture is important, that heritage is everything. And you wonder why a black child will walk around and not know who the father is, when a white child will trace their lineage for generations before them. That's the reality we live in, where people want to have designer bodies, where people want to have babies with certain eye colors, certain height, certain features that we look as appealing, because we live in a world whereby we are about exciting and enticing and pleasing our senses, pleasing ourselves. We have no sense of sacrifice in the way we live our lives. We tell ourselves that we should always plan for the future, but we never plan for the life beyond this life. We think that we are here forever, and we realize that death is a reality that faces all of us. Death is a reality that features and fears and focuses and appears in every one of our lives. And it is scary. As for the human being with knowledge of good and evil, had to deal with the fact that now he had to contemplate death, his own death, his non-existence in this reality. And now man is obsessed with living longer, taking unhealthy medication to keep him healthy for a long period of time, taking toxic medication and not being able to utilize the free and natural gifts the Most High has provided for us that are less toxic and are more adaptive to the body. We live in a culture that promotes eating of flesh, cannibalism, and thousands, if not millions, of animals have to meet their death for us to be pleased. Our children are obsessed with technology. We are obsessed with genetic modification of our cells and of our food. And this is not healthy. This is not healthy for ourselves. This is not healthy for the children that come. This is not healthy for our elderly either. Forgive me, I'm a bit out of breath, but I will do my best. We come to understand that the world that we exist in is a world that is selfish. The Messiah was asked upon the mountain and realized when you stand above the mountain and you're being shown the kingdoms of the world, how can you see the kingdoms of the world if the world is round and you're on top of a mountain? Unless you're on a flat surface. But yet I digress. When he was shown the kingdoms of the world, he was asked to bow before the Antichrist, and he will receive all of the kingdoms of this world, and he refused. And what the Messiah refused is what the leaders of this planet, the leaders of this ball, agreed to. And that's why you see them messing with aliens, as aliens are creation of fallen angels, agents, provocateur, here to bring forth the new world order. And through Google and DARPA, they're using technology to make robots to usher in transhumanism. I've been following on Morgellons disease. And Morgellons disease is a disease whereby you synthesize synthetic objects from your body, and carbon nanomaterials that form themselves in form of strings that are actually artificially intelligent. They are messing with God's creation, and the Most High is upset with us. And that is how we know for a fact that we qualify for the last generation, as for the last days will be like the days of Noah, when a natural creation will exist side by side by natural creation. And now we understand through cloning that they have personalities and celebrities that are out there entertaining the masses, and the masses are not aware that these individuals are artificially intelligent. They have been programmed. One celebrity sang, "They tried to take me to rehab, but I said no, no, no." Because what they call rehabilitation is actually reprogramming, whereby they activate your clone. Our celebrities have sold their soul for fame. And when they sell their soul, they give the powers that be, they go ahead to have demons possess their body and give them talents that they tell us are alter egos. Beyonce has her alter ego called Sasha Fierce. Nicki Minaj has her alter ego known as Roman. Just to mention a few among many, if not most. meddling with the creation of the Most High. That's what we have become, unsatisfactory slaves, unsatisfied slaves. By disobeying the Most High, the children of Israel were cast away, made to forget His name and to forget their purpose. The Negroes are the true Israelites. The Jewish impersonators that are in Israel are actually the Khazars. The black Americans are of the tribe of Judah. The Haitians are of the tribe of Levi. And you have the Jamaicans as a tribe of Benjamin. And remember, we have 12 tribes. They are bringing forth the Antichrist that they call Jesus. White man with long hair, and it is said in the Bible that it is a shame for a man to have long hair. And you come to realize that our Messiah came as a black man from the ghettos of Jerusalem, a place called Bethlehem. A black man, skin of bronze, hair as white as wool, and curly. The deception in this world will not stop. The greed in this world will not stop. What has been given for free, what has been given naturally, what has been given beautifully is going to be taken away. We are obsessed with fakeness. And only a human being will go and watch a 3D movie, and yet he lives in a 3D reality. We have the move to digital migration, where you have high definition panels. What you call televisions are actually what was prophesied as the image of the beast, from which we learn the Babylonian culture. Now we speak like them, we act like them, and indeed they gave us our mind. What we call our own mentality was seeded by a foreign individual, by a foreign mindset, and our patterns of thinking now do not even belong to us. Our patterns of speech do not belong to us. Day by day we watch this indoctrinating programming. Day by day we are fed on this kind of information, on this kind of entertainment, and I always ask myself, what is entertainment? What is it about the human being that he finds himself obsessed with pleasing himself, entertaining himself, or entertaining herself? Everything has to be appeasing and pleasing to us for us to give it attention. And therefore, you realize that what is most popular is what is not educational. It is funny. Our leaders are put forth, and they put forth a gay agenda, and they put forth a gay agenda with our leaders. No one seems to talk about the fact that Obama from Kenya is hooked on cocaine, and you can look at those black lips. You cannot understand why his female partner, Michelle Obama, looks so much like a man, and he has had allegations of homosexual indulgences. And now we understand that part of the Masonic rituals, okay, what we see Michael not Michael, but what we see in the Vitruvian Man, okay, by the great artist who drew the Vitruvian Man, the man within a circle, is actually a man behind a man, a homosexual ritual. The anus is the path to the abyss, the manhole. And all through Greece, all through Rome, we understand that all this kind of expression of Greek love, that's why you have wrestlers fighting with nothing on but panties. And they have to have close contact, because wrestling is a close contact sport. And in wrestling, they're in a ring, and yet it is a square, and therefore you square the circle. The metaphysics stemming from Egypt, the Hermetic order, and we see it play out in day-to-day basis when they take very masculine women and they put them in positions of power. That makes our very own women feel some type of way, as if being a mother is not a role enough. Go out there and compete with a man. Go out there and be equal to the man, and yet you are not created equal. You are created as complements. You complement each other. One cannot do without the other, but let's pretend that you can do everything that your partner can do, and go out and get double the job so you can provide as a man and as a woman and create more for your government, for you are a slave, a consumer, a useless eater. That's why companies have the dead peasant insurance claim, because you are a peasant. You see, men nowadays act more like women. And just today I was introduced to a Kenyan celebrity, calls himself, herself, a socialite, Shaniqua. Shaniqua is telling in itself by the name that they have ascribed, that he has ascribed, that she has ascribed to himself or herself, because I don't still understand whether it is a man or a woman. But again, I do digress. And in form of comedy, they feed us all this negativity and negative information. I am of the thought that you can be whatever freak you want to be, but keep it in your bedroom. Anytime you come out in the public, we can assume that you are pushing an agenda. And when your agenda looks like a global agenda that has been coming forth, then your innocence is revoked. Your innocence is revoked. The man walking around this piece of land we call Nairobi, calling himself Shaniqua as a socialite, is an abomination in itself. The people promoting that agenda are promoting an abomination by itself, just like they're promoting the woman, man, Konicha Wurst. I think she or he is from Australia. A woman with a beard. The image of the Antichrist. For he will have no desire for women. Homosexuality. Women are not comfortable comfortable with just being the vessel of creation. And now we can call them thoughts. We call our black queens thoughts. We look at them as if they're hyenas baying for your money in your pocket. Money that you may have earned honestly or otherwise. But it does not matter, because in this society, money is money. Whether you got it from stealing, whether you got it from molesting, whether you got it from an abduction, it doesn't matter. As long as you have money, you are celebrated as one who is successful. If you choose to exist without money, you are looked upon as lazy, as a useless eater. And yet, money was once known as dirty money, that you would call yourself stinking rich, filthy rich, because money in itself is filthy. But yet we promote money in this society today, when our very Messiah came without material wealth, to show us that he who loves this world does not love the Most High. He who loves this world does not love the Most High. Let's not kid ourselves. If you love worldly stuff, if you love money, you love cars, you love women, you love men, you love expensive clothes, then you stand with the Antichrist. There is no other way. The prosperity gospel is a deception. And also, the rapture gospel is a deception in itself. We are not going anywhere. The world will get worse, and we will have to endure. As God gives nothing for free. Our Creator gives nothing for free. He is not one of shortcuts. And when you receive shortcuts, you understand that you are working in the paths of the devil. You are playing in the grounds of the devil. You are walking on the road that is broad, on the way that is broad, on Broadway. And the metaphysics behind the names that they give some of these things that they do, they don't understand what they do to the mindset and what it represents. They stand in front of crowds, they put their arms on their chest, and they act as if they are people who are holy, people of God, and they have to do Masonic Luciferian rituals to maintain their wealth. They have to do homosexual rituals to maintain their wealth. Their marriages are a sham, and yet the public will look at them as if having the best of relationships. Everyone is concerned that Tiger Woods is cheating on his wife when Tiger gave his wife an island. If I give you an island, I should have a woman or two. I don't mean that to provoke. I just mean that we have to be realistic and understand that we do not understand, we do not overstand, we do not understand that people put out their best and give out their world to their partners, and yet they end up being judged for the simplest of things that even we as normal, average, everyday human beings would pardon each other for. He was not the first man to be unfaithful. And for that very reason, we were not in a position to judge him as a woman gets to judge him because she knows him different. But at the end of the day, we throw away what has been given to us as a gift, not understanding what is at play on a larger scale, not understanding that we have been used as pawns, not understanding that the Most High is aware of our shortcomings. He is understanding and He is loving, but we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to not deceive ourselves. We have to be critical of ourselves as we are critical of other people. And we should see our own fault before we look into our brother's eyes and we give condemnation and we offer judgment. We have to look within ourselves and ask ourselves, are we being honest? Look at society and ask ourselves, are we being honest? In the way that we portray ourselves, in the way that we portray our partners, in the way that we portray the one who created us, the chief Archon, the supreme creator, the generator of this matrix. Those who lead us are not any better than who we are because they come from the society in which we live in, and thus they are a symptom of a problem. We should not expect any better from them. We should not ask of any better from them. It is not they that are at fault, but it is the system itself that's at fault. The system we live in is broken. We can deceive ourselves and imagine that people are just evil. Or we can be real with ourselves and realize that the systems we have in place are put forth to promote evil people. The whole concept of celebrity is put forth to promote a certain type of people with a certain type of personality. That the selfie craze that has been coming across promotes narcissism. Our Facebook accounts and our Instagram accounts exist for us to put the best of ourselves and none of the negative. And everyone can look at your profile and imagine you're having the time of your life. And people are dying inside. People are breaking inside. People are crying inside. Because we live in a fallen world and we do not accept the reality of judgment that is coming. The reality that we are going to pay for each and everything that we have done in secret and in hiding on this world. We have our own system of judgment and we do not accept the reality of we ourselves having a system of judgment put upon us by the person who put us on this planet. We live our lives enjoying and yet people are suffering, and we can walk by and say, we are one. Kenya, we are one. We are one when you look at the death of Fidel and everyone concerned with Odinga. And yet a mother loses a child every day. How many rallies are put forth? How many people gather and scatter to run to nurse the mother who is going through her loss? The average Kenyan who is suffering. We are one. And as one we will be judged. As one we will face what is coming. It's an illusion. It is all an illusion. And being an individual who has been put in this matrix and having to discover what I did, I had to cut away from a lot that I was accustomed to. I had to let go of a lot that I had held so close and so dear. And with it, I had to let go of people who held such notions that I held so close and so dear. So close and so dear. And now I live my life awaiting the return of our Messiah, the true purpose of our existence. Doing my best to feed my child, navigate this world, realizing that I am a sinner. And the best that I can do is try to reach out to as many of my kinfolk, of my friends, of my family. Reach out and tell them that it is late. The signs are in the sky. The signs are with us. The Antichrist spirit is already with us. The mark of the beast is already with us. How many times will people tell others that it is late and they will never understand? Oh, they have said it before. Oh, it has been said before. Many have come before you saying that it is the end of time. No one knows the day or the hour, but this is the funny thing, that the only thing we don't know is the day or the hour. For he put signs before us, just like in the days of Noah. No one knew the signs, and he told people it is going to flood. And they never understood. And when the day came and the ark was closed and the heavens opened, what happened at that moment was the realization that they were wrong. That all they had to do was put this small but vital, small but significant aspect, concept, note, detail. They had to keep it close with them. But not even that could they afford. And for that very reason, they lost what they could, was easily and readily available to them. And just like that very moment, I say this now, I could be doing anything else with my life. So many opportunities, so many talents have been granted unto me. And I put my strength and my energy to reach out. To reach out to those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. I tell you to look up at the sky and realize has all been a deception. How many satellites do you see when you look up in the sky? Because we have so many. How many satellites do you see? Men have lied to you. Men have lied to you. They have lied to all of us. They show their signs. When you see the pictures, they take pictures in unnatural ways, showing their allegiance to the devil himself. I only got to understand the reality of the presence of evil by watching our leaders, by watching our celebrities, their behaviors. I never got to understand that the study of psychology is actually the study of the soul. But science rejects the mind, the soul, and accepts the mind, and therefore you can fracture your mind and analyze your soul, not understanding what you're dealing with, not understanding what has been brought forth. And yet we need to understand and overstand and understand that what we call psychology is what has been used against us for time immemorial. From time immemorial. I'm getting lost in my thoughts. Psychology. From the Tavistock Institute, through a gentleman called Edward Bernays, the nephew of Sigmund Freud, the guy who brought psychoanalysis to limelight. Edward Bernays is the father of propaganda, and propaganda is what has got us to this mess. Advertising agencies, selling products in forms of advertisements, and yet deep within these advertisements are spiritual messages telling us of the doom to come, of the impending disaster to come. I now understand what the mainstream media is here to provide, and I want to stand on record saying that I stand against the Antichrist, against the beast system. I am not one of those who can be controlled by fear of poverty, neither will I kill my child in fear of poverty. We embrace the Most High and understand that we are going to be tested to our core if we are to trust and believe in He who created us and who brought us here, that we will not be absorbed in our own creation, our own fantasies, adults dressing up like superheroes, wearing panties on top of their trousers saying, I'm Superman. It's a shame. When we can pay pretend doctors more money than we pay real doctors. It's a shame. When we have leaders, clergy, who molest boys and yet they're supposed to be our spiritual guides. It's a shame. And we are ashamed in ourselves. We are shaming ourselves, and we are ashamed to the generations that are to come, if any generations are to come, because we seem to qualify the last generations. 2015, 2015 0 is a placeholder, so you have 1 5. 1 5 is the same as IS, so you have 2 1 5 2 IS, which is IS, which is ISIS. February 15th, 2 1 5 2 IS, ISIS. That was Sunday. They killed 21 people, supposedly beheaded. 21 reverse is 21, which is SI. Reverse SI, it becomes IS, ISIS. How is it that you have a Muslim group with the name of a god that is of Greek and Roman origin? It's the spirit of these fallen angels. We were warned against worshipping wood and stone, wood being the cross and stone being the Kaaba. Our Messiah is risen. He is not in the wood that he was crucified upon. You need no remnants. You need no objects to signify our Creator, for he is in every creation, and we need to honor and to acknowledge his presence. We have been thrown for a loop, and for that we have to pay, as ignorance is no defense. And willful ignorance is not even close to a defense. People want the convenience of not knowing, because if they do not know, they cannot claim that they knew. But if your brother knew, what were you doing the whole time? If your sister was finding truth, what were you doing the whole time? Fucking bitches getting money. Then your reward is bitches and money and eternal fire and flame, as you are not sorry, genuinely repentant for the ills that you've committed in this world. We have to be honest with ourselves and be honest with each other. There's only one end game, one play, one God, one devil, one. The variations are there as noise. I come to realize that there are other gods that are real, but they are fallen angels, as they have powers beyond anything that we can imagine. And we as human beings, all we have to do, the only relationship we have with supernatural powers is begging. We beg for gifts, we beg for careers, we beg for talents, we beg for happiness. So that we can outshine each other. Every time someone is making a prayer to the Most High, is because they're asking for something. Not many people say thank you. Not many people say thank you. Not many people say thank you. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for what you've given me. Thank you for what you've allowed me to experience in this reality. We are going to be very shocked when we realize that we were wrong. We had one chance to get it right and we failed. We failed. Not only did we fail, but we failed, and we failed horribly, as the black man never reads, and many people have lived up to that stereotype. For some of us who decide to look behind the veil, to look for the puppet master, we end up looking as conspiracy freaks. as people who are in a drunken stupor or are chasing the dragon or are smoking that good kush, because everything we say is hard for the average person to understand, but that is okay, as this is not meant for everyone. Not everyone will get it, and therefore I speak not for everyone, but only for those who seek. Seek and you shall find, and information, just like a fruit, is free only if you decide to pick it for yourself. But if you're going to get someone to do it, then you'll buy to that homosexual agenda, you will buy to that Masonic agenda, you will have to meet with the Baphomet, and you will sell your soul for fame and glory and eternal flame in the depths of hell. It doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter what you want to believe, but the truth remains as it was meant to be. It is not mine, I did not create it, and if you have a problem with it, then you have to deal with the main source, with the genesis, with the creator, our creator. It is late. For those who have ears, let them hear. The signs are around us. What are we going to do? Our soul is at stake. Receding horizons. Humanity will never be the same. Shalom, brothers and sisters.